and welcome to Lighthouse Tarot, where we embrace the light within ourselves and within others. I'm your host, of course, Willow Riley, coming back at you with a new video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Aquarius suns. So what does it mean when your sun is in Aquarius? So your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, they all work together. It's all one little map, roadmap to the soul, if you will. Your rising sign is your appearance, your sun sign is your personality, and your moon sign is your emotions, if I'm going to put it in simple terms. But with your sun sign represents where your father is in your chart. If you are an Aquarius sun, chances are your father was in the science, he was passionate about something, he might have been a rebel, or he was a humanitarian of some sorts. He volunteered to help people in need. He would volunteer in the soup kitchen. He would give back to the community. He, in some way, was into the community. And even though he was a humanitarian, he didn't necessarily like people. Your father could have been very introverted or an ambivert. So he would be kind of like a loner and doing his own thing, but he was a humanitarian as a whole. And I know that's a paradox. I know that's an oxymoron, but it's true. As Aquariuses, if you have Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, you will notice that you guys love the community. You love being a humanitarian. You love giving back. You love problem solving. You love creating your own group, going against the grain. But humans as a whole, you're kind of like, or as an individual, you're kind of like, I want to stray away from them. I don't want to be in a group. I don't want to interact with humans every day. I need to recharge my battery. I need my space. I need my alone time. But when you do have your alone time and you recharge, you do like to give back to the community, if that makes any sense. So let's talk about Aquarius. What is Aquarius ruled by? Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus and Saturn. So Uranus is the planet of rebellion. It's the planet of change. It's the planet of chaos. It's the planet of changing humanity as a whole. And Saturn is the planet of restraint. It's the grandfather of all the planets. It's kind of like do your chores before you can go out and have fun. It's the planet of discipline. Capricorns are ruled by Saturn. That's why Capricorns come across as very serious, when they're younger, they look like adults. They're like mini adults. They're always worried about their bills and like not breaking the law and following the society norms. They're very to the book, to the T. So with an Aquarius, this comes from a very like a struggle growing up, because with that Saturn influence, they could have been constrained in their childhood. They could have grew up in a very highly religious background, and maybe that religion was forced upon them as a young age, and they fought against it, and they said, no, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in this religion. May it be like Buddhism or Wiccan or Christianity, whatever it is. They're going to rebel against it because they have that Uranus very strongly in their chart. Uranus is also the planet of aliens. It like rules otherworld activity. It's the lightning bolt. It's the lightning bolt of epiphany. It's where most inventors get their muse from. They get their ideas from Uranus. If they have Aquarius in their chart, like Steve Jobs, it makes for an inventor. So as Aquarius suns, you guys are very innovative. You guys are inventors. You guys run social experiments. You guys are loners, but you love humanity as a whole. You guys are really great, and I love Aquariuses. I have an Aquarius sun and Aquarius Mercury, so that means my personality is out of an Aquarius, but I communicate also like an Aquarius. So a lot of Aquariuses I've noticed are ADHD, or they have ADHD, especially if it's somewhere in their chart. That's because all those thoughts from Uranus are pouring in through their mind. So they're having a thought on a thought on a thought. They could, like, for an example, Aquarius, they could look at this pen. They're like, wow, this is a blue color. This reminds me of my blue notebook. Have I written my pages today? I think I should do some law of attraction thoughts. But I like this girl. I want to write a note to her. Or maybe I should do a law of attraction love spell on her. But is that wrong to impose love onto someone? What is love? Do I love myself? Am I capable of love? It just goes in and in and in and in, and it's like thought after thought. And often Aquariuses, they kind of jumble up their words a little bit, especially if they get excited about something. It's because all those thoughts are coming in fast, and I find that true with Geminis. Geminis are a little bit better at it because they're ruled by Mercury, but Aquarius, just because it's an air sign, the thoughts come in so fast that they'll talk faster than their words can catch up. And so they'll jumble around their words if they're excited or if they're passionate about something. But if it's something that they know, like for me, it's astrology. I talk in a very slow, well, I feel slow stance, slow for me, and I can go into better depth. So Aquariuses, they make great teachers, they make great leaders, they make great rebels. And I like to think of Aquarius as a rebel with a cause. In the traditional tarot deck, the Aquarius is the star. And often people confuse Aquarius for a water sign because they are the water bearer. But the way I like to think of it, the Aquarius holds the water, which is our emotions, but they don't get their hands dirty. So they're very good at analyzing other people's emotions. They make for great therapists. They're very good listeners, and they kind of pick apart the emotions and they analyze it and they get to the bottom of it. You don't ever want to go up to an Aquarius if you really need a hug or you really need someone to sympathize with you and tell you that you're in the right. You want to go up to an Aquarius if you genuinely have a problem that needs solving, especially if it has to do with technology, because Aquarius rules technology. It's the 12th, no, that's Pisces 12th house. I believe it's the 11th house. I'm not certain, but I'll look it up later. Aquarius rules technology as a whole. So if you have a problem like, hey, I can't get my PayPal to work, how do I put that to my bank account? Aquarius will grab your phone and be like, do, 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 and then bam, they got it. And they're going to tell you like it is. If you need good advice, if you need logical, practical advice, and this might come from me being a Virgo moon, so I'm very logical, and then I have Aquarius, but I find that with most Aquariuses, like male Aquariuses and female Aquariuses I've been around, they're very logical, they're very practical. If you come up to them and they're like, hey, I have a crush on someone, but they don't like me back, Aquarius is like, okay, move on, just go with the flow. You were fine before them, you'll be fine after them. You were a whole person before them. You were intelligent, bright, amazing, interesting, and you had this going for you, got that going for you, got this going for you. Why don't you focus on your bag? Why don't you focus on your money? Why don't you focus on your career? Who cares about that person? You're great. And a lot of people, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear, well, why don't they like me back or whatever. But Aquarius is going to say, hey, this is logical, this is practical advice, take it. And Aquariuses aren't really good at physical touch or giving hugs, because often, especially if you had Aquarius in your fourth house, which rules the home, that shows for a chaotic household. Emotions could have not been talked about. Emotions could have seemed bad. Emotions could have been seemed like too much. So Aquarius pulls back and they move inward. And whenever they have an emotion, they analyze it. They say, this is sadness. Why am I feeling sad today? Well, this happened, but usually that doesn't bother me. So is it something to do with my sleep schedule? Maybe I need to get back into my spiritual work, or maybe I'm not focused enough on my career, or maybe I need to give back today, or maybe I'm being too selfish. They won't just be sad like a Scorpio or Pisces or Cancer. They won't just wallow in their sadness like, I'm sad. Oh my God, someone help me. Aquarius is going to be like, okay, what's going on here? Why do I feel sad? What happened today that didn't happen yesterday? And they're going to analyze it and they're going to come to a solution. So Aquariuses are very good at analyzing their emotions. What else about Aquariuses? You won't usually find Aquarius in organized group or organized religion. They're very rebellious. You can tell them a rule, and if you don't explain to them why, Aquarius is going to politely listen and then go do their thing. They're not going to follow that rule unless you tell them why. Like, for example, I was asking someone to explain the AA book to me, and they were like, well, it was in the 1950s, and they were being very vague with it. And I was like, okay, so who wrote this book? Were his credentials? How do we know that this works? And what are the statistics on the success rate of people following the AA book and that helping them against being an alcoholic? What is an alcoholic? What's the difference between someone being a social drinker and someone who can't put it down? And if they couldn't put it down, wouldn't they be dead? How do we know that? Did they wake up one day and just decide they don't want this anymore? Or did this wonderful AA book come into their life and just give them an epiphany? How come I'm not having this epiphany? Who's to say that these people have the correct credentials to make this work, because it was made in the 1950s? We're in 2023. Isn't there something more future oriented that we could go by? And you know, if you don't explain it thoroughly to an Aquarius, they're gonna laugh in your face. They're gonna say, "This is a joke. I'm gonna go do on my research. I'm gonna go on my little journey, and I'm gonna find out what works for me, and I'm gonna go for that." Because Aquariuses, they're experimental. They see life as one big science experiment. Sometimes in Aquarius, they'll just change the way they dress for the fuck of it. You know, they'll put upside down crosses on their face to see if certain religions will call them out on it. They like to surprise people. They like to shock people because most of the time, as an Aquarius was growing up, they were constrained somehow by that Saturn placement. May that be in their family or their community or their relationships. Someone wanted to control them, someone wanted to constrain them. So they're going to go the opposite end, especially if they have Gemini in their chart. I have my Lilith in Gemini. So they're going to go, you know, what's it going to look like if I just decide to dress like a man today? What's gonna happen if I dress like a female today? What's gonna happen if I dress like androgynous? What's gonna happen if I put on all this makeup? What if I do nothing? What if I just wear my PJs? You know, what if I talk to everybody at work? What if I talk to no one at work? You know, they see it as a big experiment and they see it as fun. They see it as exciting. If you like an Aquarius, the best thing you can do is give them space, give them time, listen to their ideas, ask them about the future, ask them, how can we improve our world, how can we improve our community, what thing could we invent that could change people's lives, what is their passion, what is their purpose, what are they here for, what is their mark they want to leave on the world. And especially if you get on those topics, it's going to really excite an Aquarius and they're going to like go into you. The best thing you can do is listen to an Aquarius or get into an intellectually stimulating conversation. They really dig that. If you compliment their style, they like that too. They're not like Leos where they gravitate towards attention and they want all the attention, but they do little things, little quirks, little fidgets in their appearance that they do want other people to notice, that they want other people to notice that, hey, I'm different. Like they might wear a lot of crystals, they might dress like the opposite sex, they might dress up, they might dress down, they might do something really wacky and put colors together that don't really go together, but for some reason they tend to pull it off. And they do want that validation from others. They don't need it, they never need anyone's validation. Aquariuses are usually loners from the day they're born, and they're perfectly content being by themselves, but they do like a little bit of hype up sometimes. They like for people to notice and be like, yo, I like your chain, or like, cool, I dig your style, or that's very innovative, how'd you do that, your makeup looks like fucking banging, how'd you do that? And they will appreciate that. But for the most part, Aquarius like to stay on the sidelines. They like to observe. They will often observe a group, a friend group, and they'll notice who's the biggest gossiper, who has the biggest mouth, who's the quietest, who's the most powerful one, who's the one that everyone looks at when they laugh. Aquariuses are really good at reading body language. They can automatically tell when you're lying to you because they study psychology, sociology, and philosophy. So they study all these things. They're very interested in how the mind works because they're constantly in their own minds. So they want to see how your mind works too. And you can't lie to an Aquarius, dude. They're just like a water sign. Water sign's very intuitive, but air sign is very logical, and they spend a lot of time online. They spend a lot of time studying just for fun. Like an Aquarius's best day is sitting outside reading a book or going to the library and researching or doing some type of social experiment or volunteering. So if they're researching for fun, they're pretty logical, they're pretty intelligent. So if you try to lie to them, they're going to pick up on it like that and you're out the gate. On the other side of it, Aquarius, they are very smooth talkers. They can be manipulative because they know how to hide their body language if they're lying. They know how to pass something as a white lie. They know how to stroke your ego. They know what kind of compliment someone likes. They know if someone needs more alone time, if someone's more social. They can kind of look at you and get your general vibe. They can figure out, all right, this person likes a lot of attention. This person wants to be under the radar. This person wants to be told that they're funny. This person wants to be told that they're pretty. This person doesn't want to be told anything at all. This person likes deep conversations. They can kind of like mirror you, if you will. They can mirror you, and they can be hype, or they can be chill, or they can be relaxed, or they can be sporadic. They can kind of hone into that. They're very good at people reading. So you do need to be careful with some unevolved Aquariuses because they're very good manipulators. They can make anything sound good. They can talk their way into anything, and they can talk their way out of anything. So with an Aquarius, do be careful with that, because some evolved Aquariuses will take advantage of you because they feel they're more intelligent than you. But there are other Aquariuses that genuinely do care about society. They do care about humanity as a whole, and they're going to use that to their advantage. They're going to use that for others' advantages. They're going to smooth talk their way into raising money for a nonprofit. They're going to smooth talk their way into like hyping up their brother or sister, you know? So that's my spill on Aquarius suns. If you like this video and you want to see more, please comment below. As always, I'm open for tarot reading and birth chart reading. You can catch me on my email, rileygrace359@gmail.com. And with that, y'all have a great day. Goodbye.